With the first pick in the 1998 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Clippers select Michael Olowokandi.
The Phoenix Suns select Dragan Bender from Croatia.
Welcome to Chasing Chips. My name is Charles Dixon, and he is
Joshua Davis.
Oh, he said his full name. Okay, all right. Government out there. All right. So yeah, we're pretty much welcome to the podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. This is our first episode, so we're gonna go through a little growing pains and things like that. But we're just gonna go on here and have fun. So I hope y'all enjoy it. Yeah, man, we're gonna be talking basketball. Mostly the NBA. You might tap into the college basketball era if we have to. Amateur basketball, probably just viral videos that we might see that we might have to talk about. We're here to touch on, but we got to get into the main thing. The reason why did we name the podcast Chasing Chips? Well, because we are fans of teams that do not have championships. So we're chasing them. And so for me, I am a Clippers fan, born and raised in LA. People always ask me, how are you a Clippers fan and not a Lakers fan? Well, for that reason alone, I was a Jordan fan. He retired. I decided I got tired of winning, which is really the dumbest thing I've come up with in my mind. But I picked the Clippers, and it was promising for a minute, and it's been promising. But soon I think we turned over a new leaf with a new owner, with Steve Ballmer, and we're a whole different franchise now from when we were with Donald Sterling, who did not care about winning. All he cared about was making money. So whenever it came to re-signing big name guys, he let them go. So with Steve Ballmer, it's new era. We've been making the playoffs every time he's been there. We've gotten better every single year. And we ended this year losing to my friend Josh's team, the Phoenix Suns. So I'm a big Clippers fan. I will be for the rest of my life, no matter what. So deal with it. And
I like that. So I'm a Suns fan. I been a Suns fan my whole life. My dad, the first jersey I ever wore when I was a little kid was a Kevin Johnson jersey. So my dad was really into the Suns. My grandpa was really into the Suns, and it just trickled down. Not from Phoenix, though. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. We don't really have a team in Missouri. We got some good representation in St. Louis. Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum. A lot of good ballers come out of St. Louis. But unfortunately, not the market for the team. We did have the St. Louis Hawks for a while, but that was gone real quick. So had to pick a squad, So first jersey I ever wore was Kevin Johnson, and then I also grew up in the Steve Nash era. The Nash and Stoudemire, like that's
all that winning
basketball right there. Yeah, a lot of winning, not necessarily winning in the end, but a lot of winning seasons and just good basketball overall. Like, Sean Marion, all those guys like Raja Bell, Boris Diaw, just like dogs.
Yes, I remember.
Eduardo Barbosa, like those are some dogs back in the day, and it was great basketball back then. But then, it was like a decade of losing, which all you Suns fans out there, understand. There's some bad draft picks here and there, some bad management. But yeah, it was a tough decade, but now we on the up and up. Like Suns finally making some good moves. Devin Booker progressing nicely, like we all knew. And Chris Paul coming through, DeAndre Ayton turning out. So, I mean, we got a solid squad this year. I'm excited. I think we're going to run it back in the finals. And I think we're going to, I don't know. Well, let's wait to make some bold predictions.
No. Wait. So you think the Suns are running back? And I agree with you. I think the Suns have been a little bit under the radar this offseason. I think people let them make it to the finals, and losing to the Bucks in the fashion they lost. They just oh, okay, it was just a random year. All the good teams got injured and But the only teams people really talk about that got injured, or two teams that people talk about focused on, are the Warriors and the Lakers. Now, the Warriors and the Lakers are potentially healthy, and they're assuming they're automatically better than the Suns, which I disagree with. I know my team, Kawhi, we don't have a timetable when he'll be back. He signed an extension. That's all I cared about over the summer.
Okay.
So I'm good. I know this year we'll probably be in the top 4. I know Clippers be top 4. We should be top 4, even with the team we have now. I think we're good enough to be top 4. I think good enough to get out the first and second round. We play well. I think Paul George is going to be in MVP talks because it's going to be all on him. So I'm looking forward to the season, see what he can do. But with the Suns, I just believe they're going to be there too. The team is all around good. They've added players.
Well, I'm excited, honestly, because we have had some under the radar ads on our squad. You know, JaVale McGee was a big man that I was trying to preach for all last season. We just needed some height. We needed another big man. You know, all y'all Sarge lovers out there, I don't understand it. You know, he's not a true 5, and we just needed a bigger guy down there. I think that really would have helped us out in the finals a lot. Not saying we would have won it or anything, but I really think that if we had a big man last year to back up Ayton, that things would have been looking a little bit more hopeful. And then we picked up Landry Shamet. Yeah, he's a dog too. Love him. He can handle the ball. He can shoot. He's got confidence. He can play defense. He's really like what you want to see from a backup guard, you know? So it's just like, I love him. I love that pickup. You know, I really expect him to like jump this year into a legitimate, you know, backup guard in this league. Arguably, you know, a starting guard in a crappy team, on a crappy team, you know? So I think he's that good, and I'm hopeful for him. You know, he's already, even just in the last night's game, you know, in the preseason, he just got so much confidence. Like, he's just all these step backs and stuff. Andrew Shaman.
Oh my gosh. When you said his name the first time, I just stopped listening because your confidence about Landry Shamet is unbelievable. Like, it's we had Landry Shamet. I think he's a fantastic player, but I think you're giving him way too much. I think he's good. He's good. He's a good NBA player.
Biased,
he's fine, but he's not moved the needle like, oh, he's gonna give y'all 5 to 7 more wins or something like that. No, I think he's a good ad. I think JaVale McGee gives y'all more wins or things like that. But I don't know if
I disagree, because I think we've been desperate for a backup 2 guard, and all last year especially. Like, I love Etuan Moore, you know, I love Langston Galloway, and those guys, but we just needed more. And I think it just defense is big, as well as like confidence. I don't know. I'm just excited for our second unit, because the inevitable Chris Paul is getting older. You know, I'm not saying that this is going to be the year. I'm not saying next year is going to be the year, but I'm just saying that, like, there does come a time where you have to start sitting him more often, and you're gonna need your other guards to step up and take some of the bandwidth.
Yeah,
and I'm excited for people like Landry Shamet and like Cameron Payne, you know, and these other guards that could step up. You're a Cameron Payne hater too.
I don't. Cameron Payne is okay. Again, another okay guy. I mean, look here. Do I think Cameron Payne's better than Reggie Jackson? Absolutely not. Do I think Cameron Payne's better than Eric Bledsoe? Absolutely not. And those are our 2 guards, our point guards. Those are our 2 point guards.
I would argue right now this season that Cameron Payne is arguably better than Eric Bledsoe this season. Eric Bledsoe's been on the downhill decline for a while now. I think it's like you say that with confidence.
I think it's situational. I think he's gonna come to the Clippers and have a solid backup point guard season. And we're not gonna have. He doesn't have a lot of things to do. I think for him to be in a campaign type of role, I think he can do what campaign does better than campaign.
I highly disagree.
Wow.
Because Eric Bledsoe can't shoot.
Cam can't either.
Cam can shoot.
Where?
What? He knocks down shots. He's pretty good.
Eric Bledsoe can knock down a shot. Every NBA player can knock down a shot, but they're not considered
honestly, like, if someone was like, I'll bet you $1,000
Eric Bledsoe.
if you can beat an NBA player in a shootout competition. First, obviously, I'm picking Benson. Eric Bledsoe's got a broke jump shot. Sorry, I said it.
Okay.
All right. I know that's your boy too, because he started with y'all, right? In the Clippers.
He's not starting. Reggie Jackson's a starter.
No, he did start his career with y'all.
Started our career. Yes, he started his career with us, and he decided because he couldn't play behind Chris Paul, he decided to go where? To the Suns. Yep. And that's why I feel like you have ill will about Eric Bledsoe, because he came to the Suns and he was okay, but then he got really trash, and then he asked for a trade and he dipped on y'all, and y'all didn't like how it happened. So I feel like there's some animosity there, and that's what's clouding your judgment of how good Eric Bledsoe is. But that's what I think is what's going on with your situation, where you think Campaign is a better basketball player than Eric Bledsoe. But hey,
wait, you're saying like right now, if you had to choose, you would rather have Eric Bledsoe backing up your point guard than Campaign?
For sure.
With the salaries that they're currently getting paid? How much is Eric Bledsoe getting paid?
Eric Bledsoe's getting paid like a single number million. I don't even know. I don't want to put out the wrong number, but he ain't in double digits. I don't think. I mean, we can look it up, and I mean,
I like the trajectory of Campaign. Just my personal opinion. I think.
What trajectory?
So I mean, I love how this is.
He's getting 3.9.
It's the things that are not on the stat sheet. You know, it's like the fact that the things I love about Campaign, he pushes the pace, you know, with the second unit. Like he's always pushing the pace, you know, and that is like a really underrated attribute of a lot of guards nowadays, you know, is like being able to like be aggressive on offense and constantly run up the floor. You know, I'm just saying that's not something that you would get.
I'm just saying that's what Eric Bledsoe's been doing. I don't understand. You're not saying anything he hasn't done already. Like Eric Bledsoe, this is beyond me that we're having this deep conversation about two backup point guards.
It's very typical of us.
But yeah, I know it is very typical. But I'm trying to say, I think with the other addition that we had, you had JaVale McGee, we added Justin Winslow, who's also a great defender.
Justin Winslow, yeah. I
think he's gonna be really good for us, especially with Kawhi missing. Justin might not give us the points that we want, but he's definitely gonna bring the defense that Kawhi would bring if he was on the floor.
Yeah,
so I'm happy about that.
Pass the ball too. I like Justin.
He can. And then I went to the preseason game on Monday, and it was good. It was solid. I mean, everybody, I feel like, looked solid. I mean, Paul George didn't play, Morris didn't play, Serge Ibaka looking like one of my African uncles with his sweatsuit windbreaker on.
He's always stylish.
He is, but that job, he's like one of them African uncles we had that like just shows up to a formal event with a sweatsuit on, windbreaker. Just like, what, like, did you miss the dress code? Like, you just decided you just too cool. You just gonna become a Jane, you know, you gonna become your sweatsuit and be like, I'm good. I'm like, girl, no. But anywho,
he's a champion. He can do whatever he wants.
That is true. Yeah. So at the end of be all, where do you see the Suns at the end of the season?
We're finals bound, you know, and like I hate to sound biased, but I think we got better this year. I think we filled the holes we needed to fill. And Devin Booker is only getting better every year. He's our best player. He's still super young. Chris Paul probably need to be a little bit safer with him this year, since we're going to 82 games. And Mikal Bridges as well, progressing. DeAndre Ayton progressing. Like they're all like, they haven't even peaked yet. Are like, besides Chris Paul, our three other best players haven't even peaked yet. You know, so it's just like, it makes total sense for them to make another run at it this finals. Now, if it's the Nets and they're all healthy, that's gonna be tough.
I know we ain't talked about the Lakers yet, And I know they look fantastic on paper. They got all these Hall of
You
Famers.
know?
They are the oldest team in the league. And there's so many factors and then also good things about the team that everybody. I believe the top 4 teams in the league are the Suns. I think Suns are 1 because they just you got to knock the king off the throne. That's just how I've always thought about it. And you can't just say another team is number 1 because they put they got a lot of additions. No, Suns is number 1. After that, yes, it's a mixed bag. But after that, I have like Lakers, Warriors, Clippers, and then those are my top 4 teams. I know people say, "Oh, what about the Nuggets? What about the Mavericks?" Mavericks didn't do anything. They didn't upgrade. They didn't do nothing.
Yeah, Mavericks aren't going to do
Nuggets didn't really upgrade or do anything. Well, they just re-signed everybody they already had. And that's pretty much where I start. I really don't care about everybody else after 6. Be honest with you. After 6, I'd be like, it's just anybody's game. You know what I'm saying? But I think those are the 4 teams, and it's always on who's healthy during the end of the season. I honestly believe that. When it comes to that's how the gap is between those 4 teams. For me, I was like, who is the healthiest team at the end? That's all that matters. And we've seen it over the past few years. Who's healthier and a healthier team that gets through, and everybody's always want to be like, oh man, you guys won because Kyrie got hurt, or you guys won because AD got hurt. They were like, okay, and that's basketball. That's life.
Yeah, and you gotta you gotta factor in that one of the reasons why I think AD probably was, I don't want to say because he got hurt, because it's always a fluke incident, but he's getting banged up at the 5 a lot all season. He's playing a lot of the 5, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And he said that he didn't want to play 5.
That was a big mistake by Lakers, making them McGee and Howard go.
Yeah. And they let go of all their big men, and then he had to step up, and they had Marc Gasol and Andre Drummond, which, I love Marc Gasol. He's just getting a little old, and Andre Drummond is just like, too late. Andre Drummond is just like a question mark. I don't understand him as a basketball player. Like he has flashes, but then he did. I don't know if it's like consistency.
It's not. No consistency. It's no consistency. I agree with you.
And I just think that he's, I'm sorry for anyone that loves Andre Drummond out here, but like, I just think defensively he struggles, and he might get some blocks here and there, but I don't know if it's just like being able to like read offenses or like just.
He's the backup for Joe Embiid now, so a lot less pressure. I think for Drummond last year to get put on, be all hyped to get let go from the Pistons, the Cavs, and then to get on the Lakers, he was hyped. But people don't understand the spotlight of being in LA. I think when he got here and realized like, oh, look at all the expectations we have for you. And then when he actually started playing and people were dogging him, he really fell under the radar. And then it didn't help that Marc Gasol was like being just being sad about the whole situation. Like, oh, you didn't give me a chance, And then it was a lot of problems when it comes to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Which y'all might understand about me. I know a lot about the Lakers. So if a Laker fan want to come at me, like, you better come correct, because I know a lot.
Hard to make enemies out here.
I'm just saying, because Laker fans, man, they treat Clipper fans like their little brother, as we should. We ain't won nothing. I understand. I'm very, very honest about my team. I'm like, oh, okay, we are the little brothers. We haven't won nothing. We ain't got no championships and all that. So, but don't come at me if you don't know your team for real, for real. Like, I know your team for real, I'm born and raised here. Don't come at me with that casual fan, Laker fan stuff where you can't name more than like 7 guys on the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can name 2 players off your team. You be like, oh, I didn't even know they were on the team. So you don't talk to me then. We're not gonna have a conversation.
If LeBron is your favorite Laker, then don't talk to me.
That's the biggest thing. If you're like, oh, my favorite Laker is LeBron James, oh, come on, bro. You're not a Laker fan then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If your favorite Laker should be Kobe or Shaq. If it's not Kobe or Shaq, it should be Magic Johnson or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. LeBron, if you were a LeBron fan, if you're one of them, what is nowadays, people were player fans, not really, and a lot of Gen Zs are now player fans. They're not really team fans anymore. So they all like they love a player. and they move with the player wherever the player goes. And I know a lot of guys like that. LeBron fans love LeBron in Cleveland, love LeBron, and the Heat love LeBron in LA. All right, you have established you are a LeBron fan. You know what I'm saying? You establish you're a Harden fan. You rock with him in the Rockets. Now you're a Nets. You're going for the Nets because you like Harden. But I want people to make sure they put that out front. Like, I'm a Harden fan, or I'm a LeBron fan, I'm a KD fan. Like, don't say you're a Net fan. You're a Net fan for the time being. You know what I'm saying? They're on the Nets now, so you're a Nets fan.
Yeah.
If James Harden, and this will get right into our extension talk, has already denied doing an extension with the Nets because he wants to try out free agency. He didn't get to try it out. What people don't understand is that James, when he asked for a trade from Houston, he said he would go anywhere. He would go to he could have went to the Heat. He could have went to the Sixers. He could have went to the Nets. You know, those are the three teams. So he didn't specifically say, I want to go to the Nets. So with that, I believe, and what I got this from was Chris Broussard that made a great point, was that he said that Harden, the best place for him if he doesn't resign and the Nets like just fall out, is the Clippers. And when he said it, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, wow.
Y'all ain't got no money. What are you talking about?
I know, but we got trade. We can trade people. Eric Bledsoe can get traded.
Eric Bledsoe. We just talked about a single-digit salary. Well, you're gonna have to trade up. You're gonna have to trade your whole.
But no, I'm not. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not traded. But he'll be a free agent, so he can go anywhere he wants. Obviously, the Clippers can free up cap space. You know what I'm saying? We'll free up cap space for James Harden. If he says, "I want to come to you guys. I don't want to go back to the Nets. I'll come and play for the Clippers." Bro, we cut everybody. Cut and trade everybody into him.
Paul George?
Oh, man, no. I thought you froze for a second. But, no, man. We need a big three. It's a big three.
So
would
it's
a big three era. You have to be Paul George, Kawhi, and James. And then, you know, the people we can keep. Serge is cheap. Zubac is cheap. You know what I'm saying? But he's coming up soon.
I just don't know if the math works, but we'll see.
Yeah, the math.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it.
Free agency, you can make the math work.
LA, right?
Huh? Yeah, he's from LA.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I just think that if they win, he might leave. But if they lose, I think he might stay one more year at least. I mean, so is the idea that he would leave potentially next year?
Potentially, if they, it's more so like if they lose. For me, it's hard for me to think somebody ever leaves a winning situation. Like,
right, exactly, and that's my point.
Who leaves this winning situation?
You don't just leave. I don't know. Maybe it's just my opinion, but I would never leave Kevin Durant. Like, he's arguably the best basketball player in the NBA, and they're friends. And like, why would you leave that situation? Especially like, it's not like Brooklyn is in, you know, or it's like in Wisconsin. It's like, it's in New York. Like, that's an amazing place to be if you're making millions.
And exactly. And I understand that. And that's why I said the only place I think he would leave for is Los Angeles, because he's from here. Yeah. That is it. You know, there's the only opportunity, the only place that we can kind of muster up the money to pay somebody like that is the Clippers. I mean, the Lakers, I think there's just too many people over there. I think James Harden still kind of wants to, if he doesn't win there, wants to win his own stuff. He doesn't want to go team up with LeBron.
Don't worry though. Huh? Don't worry though. If it doesn't work out,
and we got a new stadium, so he'll be the face of the new stadium.
Oh, who cares? No one cares about the new stadium.
People care. What are you talking about? That's it.
Really though? Like, do you think players like taking into account? Oh, they got a new stadium.
Yes, players taking account of new stadiums. I honestly, yes, you do. Yes, you do. The reason, not just talk about the reason why the Chargers decided to move out here is that a new stadium was being built.
Yeah, but that's a team versus players.
Well, it's the same players too. I mean, new stadium being built, more money coming in, more revenue, more this, more that, more things you can put in somebody's contract for bonuses and stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's a brand new stadium. Your face is on the stadium. Like, that's more money, more advertisement for you personally. Like, it's a lot of money that he can be made off the court if he moved back here. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn, there's nothing changing in Brooklyn. There's nothing gonna change. He's not gonna he's not from there. He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't vacation there. He doesn't stay there. He comes out immediately. He travels the world when he's off season.
Does he come
he's
back?
out here.
You got tabs on?
Off. Huh?
Yeah, tabs on.
Who, me?
How do you know he stays out here in LA?
Oh well, I'm just I got to,
right. You get pinged. No, I'm just saying. I listen. I understand that it sounds good from a Clippers fan's perspective that James Harden would consider the LA Clippers. I just don't see it happening because it's like, why would you leave Kevin Durant and New York? But who knows? I think if anyone, I think the one statement that I totally disagreed with when you were talking earlier was like the Lakers not having the cap space, because if they lose this year, Westbrook gone. I feel like personally, like it's not like they're gonna make another run like with Westbrook. Like they'll keep AD because AD is AD, but I don't know. I feel like Westbrook has jumped around enough to where if it just like melts down and like just they don't even make like the conference finals or anything like that, I think
it has to be, if it's a legit loss, like just out of just basketball loss, like on the court, then I see a shakeup being made. If it's like an injury loss, like somebody gets hurt and they lost somebody, I feel like they run it back. Okay. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said earlier, they are old. They are the oldest team in the league.
I just wonder what's going to happen. Like, is so if they do lose this year, is LeBron going to try to shake things up again? Like, I mean, it's very typical. It made it clear his whole career that he's here to win. He's here to make a run at the championship every year. And he's reached the end of his kind of tenure. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have another 4 or 5 years in him. Maybe he does. But let's say,
I don't know if he got 4 or 5 years, man. That's a lot, bro.
Say 2-3 years. Yeah. Do you think LeBron in his last year or second to last year is going to run it back if it doesn't go well with Westbrook?
I mean, I don't think he has no choice after that. I mean, I don't really know who else they got to go get. I think this team is one of them last straw teams. Like really? LeBron knows that this is it. Like he got to win with this team this year, because if it don't work out, I mean, who else are you going to go get? Everybody's pretty much locked up. Unless you guys got to make some ridiculous trades to go get somebody younger and more like, oh, let's go try to go get Beal now, right. Or let's try to bring Damian, Laker fans, let's try to go get Damian Lillard if he has a bad season. But for me, I don't think like the Lillard situation, I don't think if they have a bad season the first 3 months, he's gonna be gone. He's gonna be traded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is gonna be traded. But before we get on to Ben, and we're gonna talk about Ben, I know you got your boy Ayton that's asking for extension talks, and right now it's at a halt. So what's going on there?
All I gotta say is pay the man. That's it. Just pay the man. Like, I don't think I would have said this so confidently last year, but I mean, he showed up during the playoffs. He did. And, you could argue that the Milwaukee series, he wasn't playing as well as he did, for the Clippers series and especially for the Nuggets series. But he's still 22? Pay the man. Like, he's already arguably top 3 center in the league. And just give him the extension. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. Got the extension. Shea got the extension.
Luka.
Not trying to necessarily compare, but
Luka, Trey, their whole class
haven't necessarily proven themselves as well. Like, I'm not saying that MPJ isn't great. I'm not saying Shea isn't great, but I would put Ayton in that category. Like, of those players. Will I say that he's better than Luka? No. Will I say he's better than Trae Young? I don't know. They're different. They're different positions, But I would put Ayton is in that mix.
If we're coming up with the starting 5 from that class, that's the starting 5. You know what I'm saying? You got Shea, you got Trey, you got Luka at the 3, you got Aiden at the 5, and you got Porter at the 4. I mean, I think that's the starting 5 right there for that, that class.
You could argue that I'd argue that Jaren Jackson is going to be better than Michael Porter Jr., but that's just me. I don't know. I hate to throw shade at Michael Porter Jr. because he's from Mizzou. So, but
do you want to claim Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah, I don't know if I do, but I think that he is amazing. But I think
two-time COVID guy,
right?
Still don't want a vaccine.
Suspect.
2-time.
And he also struggles with defense, and he has some mental lapses sometimes.
Oh man,
my buddy Dugan, he's a Nuggets fan, so I know a lot about the Nuggets, and I respect them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, just pay the man. I don't understand. Like I do kind of get it that like both Ayton's extension is coming up, and then Mikal Bridges, you have to pay that man too.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul, I think we send him about $1 billion a year. So it's just, I understand that cap space is, limited, but you got to do it. And if you're not going to do it, then like what other center, I mean, if he's going to leave, are you going to try to make a run for Karl Anthony Towns? Like you have to pay someone, and it's hard to come by really good centers like that play good basketball in the sense of like, not just like stat collector. Like Ayton shows up beyond just the stat sheet. He plays good defense. One thing I think that he would be a little bit better about is his lob threat. I don't think he sets himself up to get that lob as much as he should. And I'm hopeful for JaVale McGee.
I think it's different. Yeah, I think you got to be a little bit hopeful with the addition of Chris Paul and a year of training camp under your belt for the lob effect. That takes a training camp to learn.
Well, he's already improved a ton.
Yeah, they improved, but I feel like the training camp is going to lock in. Like Chris Paul and Blake and DeAndre, like during that time, I was an intern for KABC. So I kind of got to go to the practices, and I see them like they were working on that, like practicing their timing on lobbing. Mm-hmm. So that's why Lob City looks so darn good, because, they always knew like, all right, 2-3 dribbles. I even got to look at the basket. You know what I'm saying? I know where you're going to be. I know there's a signal. I know this. So because there wasn't like a nice full training camp last year because of COVID, you know what I'm saying? Now they got it. They got training camp. They got preseason games. They got practices every single day. I think the lob effect is going to be a lot better. I just think the improvement of the Suns is going to be there. I think people don't understand that the Suns can improve, and they will. And I know everybody's like, oh, can Devin get Booker? Can Devin Booker get better? Yes, I think he can. I think Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul can get better with passing to DeAndre.
Well, the way Chris Paul's going to get better is he's going to know his team
much better. Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I know Chris. I'm wearing his jersey right now. Like he is a repetition type of guy. He gets more reps with somebody, the better they become. You know what I'm saying? That's why it was always so disappointing for me for him never get one here. And that's why I was so I was at the game where they won. When the Suns won and beat us, I was there. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I watched, I stayed and listened to the speech because I felt some kind of way. I was happy for Chris. You know what I'm saying? He was with us. He blood, sweat, and tears for us, did everything. It's partially his fault also, but partially Doc's fault, partially Blake's fault. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't, get over the hump. But it's just like when he gets repetitions and things like that, his team generally just gets better. If you look at the Clippers, when he got there to where they stopped, they generally got better every single year. Now, playoff wise, we didn't get better every single year, but the record, every single year we were getting better. So I believe in his tail in his career, I think he got 2-3 more years left of like high level play. Before he's probably like the third or fourth guy on the team, or you guys are just like, all right, it's a wrap for you.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, it's going to go either really great or really tragically, So, because I don't know if Campaign can step up for Chris Paul. if he goes out.
Y'all gotta get a real point guard if Chris Paul dip. You can't.
All right, next subject.
Well, talking about somebody that doesn't step up in crucial moments, Ben Simmons. We all saw him last year get the nice little dip off pass, had a layup and pass it.
Well, no. Trae Young was there. He was very intimidating.
Oh, Trae Young was in the way.
Yeah, Trae Young was right there, and he could have blocked Ben Simmons. Who knows? Something could have happened.
So Ben just recently put his house up for sale, his condo up for sale. He has two places out there in the Philly area, I think Jersey, Philly area that he has, and potentially both of them are going to be going up for sale. So he's done. He's over. He's already said it multiple times. Y'all have seen it all over the place. If you're not casual, if you are a casual fan, you've seen it. Ben Simmons is done with the Sixers. Joel Embiid came out that he said, it's a little disrespectful how he's been talking to all of us and everything about the situation. They tried to fly out here and talk to him. He didn't want to talk. You know what I'm saying? So, everything, the trade rumors are ramping up. Just a rundown of everything. They do not intend to trade him until they get a fair wage trade back. They've withheld $8.25 million this past Friday and will deduct $360K for each game missed. So they put that $8 million in escrow.
Yeah.
And then they're going to just take money out of that escrow account every time he misses a game. You know what I'm saying? So recently, there's all these trade talks. You got Benson, Lillard. Ben
I was just looking at that. The Cavs, I think, apparently the Pacers.
No, I got the Pacers. I'm about to tell you about the Pacers in a second.
All right. And then I forget who else, but there's, the Timberwolves
in
the mix.
Because, Ben said he'd go to anybody. This is how outraged he is with the Sixers. He said, I don't care where I go. I'm just not playing here no more. I'm gone. Yeah. Trade me anywhere. Which, that's just, I don't know why you would say that out loud.
Right.
Like, you don't want to be traded anywhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, this is why I know Ben ain't really there, bro. Like, you don't want to be traded. You don't want to go to Detroit. You don't want to go to Detroit. You don't want to go to Minnesota.
He didn't want to play for a good team.
He wants to play for a good team. So you should have gave them a list.
Yeah. Huh? That's what I'm saying is I thought that he said that he didn't want to play for a good team or that he wished he would have been drafted by a bad team.
Yeah, but the thing is, when he got drafted, they had Ben, Joel Embiid, because he was drafted first.
Right.
People forget. He was the first guy there.
Yeah.
Then Joel Embiid came.
I think that's a worthy selection. I think
then Mokel and then Fultz came. And Fultz came, and everybody's like, oh, this is the trio. Obviously, that didn't work out. And obviously, it really didn't work out. I hope I'm correct on. I think, he was there before Embiid. Yeah, because he sat out a year. Yeah. So then he's doing all this. But yes, the trade rumor with the Pacers is the one that's heating up right now. That's the one everybody's talking about. Yeah. And that's for your guy, Caris LeVert. You know what I mean? They're talking about trading Caris LeVert, 20 points per game type of guy, 5 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? They would have to add somebody. I think they add Brogdon just because that's who Doc Rivers probably wants. He wants more scorers on the outside that can dribble the ball, shoot, so Joel Embiid can, stay in the inside more, where he's just unstoppable. No one's stopping him in the league in the inside. It's a wrap. If Joel Embiid gets the ball down on the block, it's over. He's gonna get 20 to 40 points a game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's.
However,
if I'm the Sixers, I'm doing that, no problem. Brogdon and Caris LeVert for Ben Simmons.
Here's the stipulation where I got from the Zach Lowe podcast is that October 18th is the due date to extend them. So if they get extended by the Pacers on October 18th, they're off the table. You can't trade them. You can't trade for them no more. They're just going to be too much, too much. So they have to. So that's why it's heating up, because they pretty much have 2 weeks to figure out if they want to do this trade before the season starts and get a Brogdon and a LeVert, or wait and do what they wanted to do, is wait and let like some of these teams who think their teams are good be bad and then offer equivalent trades for Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons ain't gonna make it past All-Star break. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, right.
But they were very gung-ho, like, we're not trading them before the season starts. But like you said, this is a good trade. I think this is nice.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good trade for both sides, honestly. But then you got, I mean, if you're the Pacers, then you got Miles Turner, you got Sabonis, and you got Ben Simmons. All not necessarily great shooters, all on the same team, all in the same starting squad. But then you got who you got? You got McDermott, and I'm not really sure. Like, what other guards are they?
See, yeah, that's the thing. The Pacers will be depleted. Sorry, everyone. My wife has a tendency to not go through the side door. She loves opening the garage. She loves opening the garage when she comes home. I should have told her that please don't open the garage because I'm doing the podcast.
It looks good though.
I'm going to keep all this. I'm going to keep all this. She has totally not even realized right now what she's done. She's, in her car, things like that. She's just looking around. She's about to get out, and now she just realized. She just realized that she's having like an important. Yeah, she just realized it. Yeah, now she's waving at me. So now I don't know, keep the garage door open or keep it closed, but
leave it open.
Yeah, we just leave it open. Finish it out.
That's
what I'm saying.
I'm sorry.
I know you didn't know. It's okay.
Are we doing spicy takes?
Yeah.
Or is that
next week we got some spicy takes for y'all. Just let y'all know we got a lot of spicy things that we want to make sure. Do not close the garage. Just go inside, baby. Thank you. Appreciate you so much. But yeah, no, that's the take. I know. So for me, it's getting a little rough out there for Ben. Fox.
Yeah, I mean, like, speaking of Ben though, honestly though, you want to bring up your old spicy take from last season? I think we should give some people like context.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead. Tell everybody what I said about Ben Simmons before the season last year.
Just to provide some context to everyone. So Charles told me last year that Ben Simmons is the best point guard in the league. He looked me in the eyes and told me Ben Simmons is number one. How'd that turn out?
I think it turned out very, very tough. And I'm not going to walk back on it, because if my guy starts to shoot and gets over this mental hump, Ben Simmons, I believe when he gets traded, if he does not step up and play to his potential of averaging 25 to 30 points a game, knocking down some jumpers on this next team he goes to, he will be traded all the time for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Well, I mean, he's definitely still, I'd say, I joke with you, but I mean, he's still top 5. I mean, just in the sense of his ability to play defense and stuff, but he just has to figure out his shot. It's literally all you do as a career. I'm not saying that it's easy to be a good jump shooter, but I mean, dude, just at least establish some sort of mid-range. I mean, no one's even asking for him to like shoot threes all the time. Just to have some sort of jump shot around the elbow or like something that's close.
These guys that come through the Clippers organization that were good on a bad team went to a good team and then wasn't good anymore. So this is the opposite effect for Ben. He's a good player on a good team.
Yeah.
So if he gets traded to a bad team or a lesser than team than a Sixers, like a Pacers or something like that, he will be forced to shoot the ball, forced to provide more offense, forced to do these things. And if he does not do these things, that will be a problem that will stay with him the rest of his career, which will end up him being out the league or just a trading piece for everybody else, because you cannot ask for a trade, go to another team and do the same thing you were doing on a good team.
Right.
It's not going to work out great for you.
If I'm the Sixers, I'm trying to get, it's a hot take maybe, and don't check my math on this, but I'm trying to go get Siakam in Toronto and fill that 4 spot. And then you got Tyrese Maxey. You got that who's that stud that plays the defensive player, Diablo or whatever his name is.
Yeah, the problem with that one is that Fred is just still starting PG, and it's just a better PG. I mean, you can push Fred to a shooting guard, but he's going to struggle on defense because he's just so short.
Ben to 4.
This idea of putting Ben at the 4 and a 3, and I understand he's good at guarding. He can guard those guys. He can't guard those guys all game.
Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons can guard a 4 of all.
I think
all
Ben
game.
Simmons can guard 1 through 4. No problem.
I think he can guard 1 through 2 or 3 all game. Before, he can't guard a Karl Anthony Towns all game.
I know, but that's not Karl Anthony Towns. He's not playing the 4. He's playing the 5.
He's definitely a power 4.
No, Karl Anthony Towns is a 5. I mean, he shoots the ball, but he plays 5. But there's no. Here's my point.
He's not.
Is that
I guess I don't see Karl Anthony Towns.
That 1 and 2.
I don't think Karl Anthony Towns is a center.
If you're big and you can guard 1 and 2, that means that you can basically guard 1 through 4.
I understand that, but I don't think it's just. I guess I'm still old school. I think when I think of like 4s, I think like Kevin Garnett and things like that. Like I don't think a Ben Simmons could have guarded a Kevin Garnett at a 4. Like no chance. No.
But Kevin Garnett would be a 5 in today's league.
That's just unfortunate, man. He's not a 5. That's why I don't see Karl Anthony Towns as a 5. Like he has 5. He can play 5, but he's more like he's like Anthony Davis. He's just a better 4.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's just a better 4.
That's why Karl Anthony Towns is so amazing. Is because he's as big as any 5, but then also can shoot the ball like a 4. So I love Karl Anthony Towns. Did you see him body? What's his name? Was it Jason Hayes or whatever?
Whatever. Jason Hayes just body him and dunked on him. Nasty.
Oh my god. God.
Before we go on, Ben Simmons is getting trashed all over the place. So and on the Fox 26 channel in Philly, they're like, "Oh, we got footage of Ben Simmons leaving," and they show a trash can, a dumpster trash can in a river going down a river, and then the trash can hits the bridge and keeps going, and they're like, "Oh, he bumped his head on the way out." They just getting reckless out there. And then the guy that got into the viral alligator trash can, the guy that captured the alligator in the trash can, Eugene Bosey, in his interview, he's from Philly. He's like, "I'm not going to be Ben Simmons. I'm going to get this basket," which is referring to Ben Simmons passing up the jumper against the Hawks. Yeah, he's getting it from everywhere. He needs to get. He can't step foot back in Philly. He's got to stay out here and just wait. And Rich Paul is probably working the phones to trying to figure out where he's going to send his boy. But it's going to be tough for Ben.
Yeah.
Wherever he goes, the expectations are very high. And the kind of like trust is very low. And he doesn't understand that, I feel like. He doesn't understand. Like, you're asking for a trade, but no one out there likes you.
I don't know if the trust is very low because, like,
if
he goes to a low market team, like, or say he does end up in Minnesota or he does end up in Cleveland. I think they'll embrace him. I think that he'll become like a great story, and I think that it could end up working out. I mean, let's not deny that he is still a top 5 point guard.
He is. He might be the best point guard in the league for all I know.
Stop it. Not right now.
Who's a better point guard?
Kyrie Irving. Damon Lillard, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Wearing a Chris Paul jersey. Don't even throw shade on him.
I'm not gonna throw shade. I'm just saying. My guy has. I think for me, when I said those things, I believed, and I still do. I believe in his potential, and I think his potential. If he would just knock down a few threes or a few jumpers, he's unstoppable. I don't think any of the guys you just named could stop him on defense. I think he can slow down. I think they can't slow him down, but he can slow them down. That's why I thought he was the best.
Are we talking one-on-one, or are we talking who's a better
one-on-one?
One-on-one? Yeah, of course. I mean, like, we can argue that, like, if it's one-on-one, it's a different situation.
In a game setting too.
I'm talking about, like, who's a better point guard in the league using traditional standard basketball rules, you know, five positions. You know, who would I rather have on my team? It would be people like Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul.
But this is coming from a guy that told me height and length is very important. So if you can tell me if Ben Simmons is knocking down jumpers, if he's knocking down 4 or 5 jumpers a game, I know that's a stretch. Everybody's like, oh, we ain't never seen it yet. But if he does do that, how is he not the best point guard? Like, yeah.
But if the best defender, butts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying you're just talking about if he established a jump shot, then he would be the best. You know, yeah, no doubt. If Shaquille O'Neal could shoot 3,
no. I'm not even gonna let you do that. I'm not even gonna let you do that. I'm not even going to let you go that far out with it. I'm not even gonna let you do that. And this, no. Ben, no. If that, I understand the ifs with Ben Simmons. We all do. We all want him. The thing is that we all want him. Everybody, I feel like everybody understands how good he can be if he just made a few jumpers. And I honestly believe that if he makes a few jumpers, he puts himself, because of how good he is on both sides of the floor, as traditional sense, I think. One of the best point guards in the league. I think top 1 or 2 in traditional sense, like you said. Right. He plays defense. He can score at all 3 levels, if that was the case. And you can't say that with a lot of other guys. Chris Paul, yes, Chris Paul's defense, younger days, fantastic. Now, Kyrie don't play defense. You know what I'm saying? Until he has to, he might show flashes as good he is. But after that, after those 2 guys, who we naming that's gonna be like, okay, yes, he's a definite.
Who? Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. Seth or Steph?
Who do you think? Stop it. No, but here's my hot take. And then we'll wrap it up.
You're naming so many guys are just scorers, and I believe yes.
Here's my hot take with Ben Simmons. Then we'll wrap up this whole fiasco. Mm-hmm. I think that whatever team that he moves to should transition him to the 4 and play a Sabonis type role, you know, like have him still be a facilitator, but he's just not necessarily bringing the ball up all the time, you know, let him play down low more. Like he's still a vision. He still has good vision. He still can pass the ball. You still can give him the touches, but he's just not bringing the ball up.
That's not what he wants. Joel Embiid just told us like
about what he wants. It's about.
But that is exactly about. That's why he wants to get traded. It's because he believes they're not doing what he wants. He wants the ball more.
5 in college or in high school or something like that. Like, I'm not saying that if he's open to playing a different position, I think that teams should try it out. You know, I think that it's not far-fetched to think that the 4 can be a facilitator as well. And, you know, just because he's not bringing the ball up all the time doesn't mean that he's not going to get as many touches. You know, I think that would help out his jump shot a lot because he'd be a lot closer to the rim and he'd have a lot more confidence where he's getting the ball all the time. You know, if you're getting the ball in the elbow, it's a lot different situation if you're trying to, you know, make a quick move and do a jump shot as opposed to bringing the ball up the floor and you're having to, like, you know.
I hear you. I believe that's a
good type style.
I think that's a great idea, but I just can't see a coach that's going where he goes just going to talk him into being someone he doesn't is one of the reasons why he wants to be traded. In his mind, he doesn't believe the Sixers did enough to focus on his skills.
Yeah,
Even
but
though Joel Embiid said that we
Yeah.
traded Jimmy Buckets for him so he can have the ball more. We brought in Al Horford so he can have the ball more and dribble the ball more and things like that. But now Ben's like, he didn't.
It's not about possessions because like Sabonis gets the ball a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so it's not about like that he won't get touches. It's just that he won't be bringing the ball up as much, you know? I think that's, I mean, and he could bring it up even sometimes, but just make sure that he's not playing the point. Like, try out the 4, you know, and then
that's
see how it unfolds. I think it's worth a try.
You're making him sound like a quarterback that was in the college. He comes into the NFL. I'm like, hey man, you know what? You better be suited for NFL for a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? There's no quarterback is gonna be. You're gonna be like, no, I want to be a quarterback. I don't want to be a wide receiver. And that's exactly Benson. The thing is the physicality. I don't think he can last down there with them 4s and 5s all game. That's a different type of physical.
He's a big boy. I think
he is. Just because you big don't mean you like contact.
I don't know. I feel like he's never had an issue with defense, no matter who he's guarding. So I don't know. Just worth a thought, I think. You know, maybe a couple games, play him at the 4. See how it works out.
Just like everybody else, we just got to wait and see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So the preseason is up and running with everything's going on right now. So I believe the preseason is one of those things where a lot of casual fans don't pay attention to because it doesn't matter. But for guys like us who love the NBA, love everything about it, we're going to pay attention to
every game.
Who are you changing the channel to right now? Like, we saw their name, they got preseason game tonight or this week. You're like, okay, I gotta watch them play at least a few minutes, at least 20 minutes. Let me give them a half. You know, obviously we ain't trying to watch a whole preseason game unless you at the game. But I'll watch a half. Who you watch?
I mean, besides the Suns, obviously, 2 teams that I'm probably most interested in watching are the Hornets. Just because I feel like they got a lot of young high flyers, and I think they're going to be an exciting team. And then probably the Timberwolves, to be honest. Like, primarily just Anthony Edwards. I think he's just extremely fun to watch, and I think he went under the radar last year with how he went first overall, right? And he had a great year, but a little inconsistent, more consistent near the end, the second half of the season. But I think he's about to have a tremendous.
I think he got a nice upside. For me, it's just the entire Bulls team. You know, Bulls are always gonna have a soft spot in my heart because of being a big Jordan fan and spending so much money on just Bulls gear growing up. I just believe that starting 5 of Zoe, Levine, DeMar, Patrick Williams, who you're high on, and Nikola. Is they can be if they can get it together. I think the Nets and the Bucks should be a little scared of them. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody's talking about the Heat with Lowry and all this stuff.
I like that. Yeah, the Heat looking good.
The Heat look good. You know, Hero went off last night, in his preseason game. But it's like the Bulls, man. It's just something about putting on that Bulls jersey. It just makes it's just something different, bro.
Yeah, right.
Like, you play for the team for the greatest player of all time. Like, I don't care what nobody say. It's different. It brings something different out of you. And
I'm excited for the Bulls coming back. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I am too. I am too. I'm excited to see them more on TV, more in the conversation. I definitely believe they're the top 4 teams in the East. I think it's Nets, Bucks, Heat, and Bulls.
Yeah. They're definitely not weak in any position.
Huh?
They're definitely not weak in any position.
None.
Yeah.
None.
So
and they got a nice 6-man, Alex Caruso, who could be 6-man a year. I'm not going to expose you on who you think was going to win 6-man a year. Go ahead. Throw it out. Y'all may have heard him talking about him earlier. He was so high on this person. This man, during our little meeting, talking about what we were going to talk about, he was telling me this guy, and I after my argument, he retracted. But I want to say if he wants to let the people know who he thought was going to be a potential 6th man of the year.
So my boy ShamWow, Landry Shamet. I know I gave it some more thought. Might have been a little stoned, but I don't know. I'm so excited about him, and I think it's just a bias that I have. But I mean, it's not like he has putting everything out on the table yet. You know, he's still progressing every year. And I think he's gotten better every year. He was looking good in Brooklyn. He was looking decent when he's a Clipper. I think I love the confidence. I love the defense. He's a great passer as well. Like, I think if something happens to where we have to rest Chris Paul a lot, I think he might get a lot more minutes. And that's what I was thinking with him, but potentially being in the conversation for 6th man of the year. I didn't say that he was going to win. I said that he would get some votes, but who knows?
Well, we appreciate y'all watching first episode. There's so many growing pains about this. We've done this, talked about this for so many months. If y'all just give y'all a little more insight, me and Josh, it's a very funny story. I am married to Josh's girlfriend's sister, so that's how we have become friends. So we are in the family, pretty much that type of way. We are. I can't say dating. He can't say dating either. I'm married, so but that's how our relationship started, and that's how we become big on basketball, and that's how we just got close on that end. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. First episode of Chasing Chips. We would love y'all to keep going, keep watching, subscribe, ping it, put it on the podcast, lock it down, do whatever you have to do on any podcast that you're listening to, Stitcher, iTunes, all that stuff, and keep it going. We're gonna keep trying to bring out and keep out coming once a week. But other than that,
it's first of many, man. And it's just one of those things that we just try to be relatable with people that love basketball. And we're just in the end just friends, just talking, and we thought we'd just record it. Who knows what's gonna happen, but it is. And you haven't been drinking at all, so I'm gonna cheers you right now.
What are you talking about? What are you talking? I don't have yours. Since I work, what I'm saying, I made sure that you can't see how much I had in me. So what I'm saying? I don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put me out there. Cheers to the first episode, brother.
Cheers.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Have a great night. Have a great day whenever you watch this.